Domestic violence
Alright, y'all, I'm gonna make
trauma.
this story real quick. This is about the time, my first time experiencing domestic violence, but inside my own house. Witnessing my mother and stepfather go had a little 1-2 with the little domestic violence situation. I might just get into it. So I was 12 years old at the time this happened. We had just moved to Georgia. We moved to Georgia from Baltimore on my 12th birthday, which is May 3rd. You know what I'm saying? We moved to Georgia. So everything was going good. My mom's had found a job at Kroger's, and my step pops was working at the Walmart plant. So at the time, I didn't know that he was on drugs. I don't think nobody knew that he was using crack or using, you know what I'm saying, hard drugs or whatever. So one day, my mom's get off work early or come home on break because she used to walk back and forth to work. So she happened to be going to the house or whatever like that. And when she got to the house, she noticed that, you know what I'm saying, that my step pops was home, and she came upstairs and went in her room. She had a bathroom in her room, and when she went in her bathroom in the room, he was in the bathroom sitting on on the tub, and he was smoking crack in the bathroom. And whatever drugs that whatever he had left, she smacked it all in the toilet and told him he had to get his stuff and he got to leave. He got mad or whatever like that. They had a little argument. They did they little 1-2 whatever, and then he left. Now I was gone. Now this part of the story that I'm telling you is her version of what happened before I arrived to the house. When me and my brother got out of school, we came home or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't there. That wasn't uncommon for him not to be home after we get out of school because he would get off around about 4 or 5. So I'm expecting to see him around 4 or 5. So my mom's was fake mad, you know what I'm saying? She was like, had this real irritated look on her face, and I just couldn't understand why. I'm like, man, what's going on, man? She like, man, shit, you know what I'm saying? He gotta go. She just kept on saying, he gotta go. He gotta go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He gotta go. I can't believe he had that shit about my kids. I don't even know how long. She just was saying, like, she was, like, just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? She just, like, in shock. I don't even know if it was shock. It was more like, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of different questions she was just asking herself or asking the Lord or just saying it out loud. You feel me? So we gonna fast forward a little bit. She ended up leaving out. She told me to, you know what I'm saying, me and my brother to hold my brother and my brother down. She told me and my little brother to hold my baby brother down because he was at nothing about 4 or 5 months, 6 months, something like that. She leave out. She come back. When she come back, she came back in the car, but she came back with him and they was arguing. So the situation was he had to left after she threw the drugs in the toilet or whatever like that, or flushed it down the toilet or whatever like that. He took her car and he ended up leaving. He ended up selling my mom's car to the dope man for, let's say, $600. He sold the car, like the car's his now. You know what I'm saying? So my mom's found them and threatened dude to call the police or whatever, however, to get her car back. Buddy gave her the car back, but now my stepdad owes this man money for drugs that maybe he have or maybe he don't have. So that made him furious. So they arguing all the way back to the house, whatever like that. Then they in the house arguing. So my mother was like, you not getting my keys back. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you do or where you go, whatever. You're not getting my keys. So they started tussling over the keys. Now, anybody that know my mother or seen my mother or remember my mother from, back in the day or even now, know my mother is very small. My mother probably about 110, 120 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 125 at that. But my mother never been no more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she always been a small frame person. So my step pop, you know what I'm saying? They used to call him Tyson. He was looked like Mike Tyson. He was vaguely built like Mike Tyson. He was kind of, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of on the strong side. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. He probably about 220. You know what I'm saying? Straight muscle. But he was, saying he was a smoker, nevertheless. So they tussling over the keys, and he couldn't get the keys from my mother. So somehow, some type of way, they ended up on the ground. I remember coming down the steps. My mother told me to stay upstairs because we hear the stuff going on. And I ain't saying I'm no mama's boy or nothing like that, but that's my mother. You feel me? So I go down there, you know what I'm saying? I see him on top of my mother. They in the living room area. And he was on top of her, you know what I'm saying? She was on her back and he was trying to like wrestle her for the keys and trying to check the keys out her hand. So I'm like, man, what is y'all doing? Like, you know, so I'm asking questions like, man, what y'all doing? Woo, woo, woo. And, you know what I'm saying? She was like, just go upstairs. Everything good. Woo, woo. And then she was like, man, you trying to do all this in front of my kids. Woo, woo. And I could see her getting mad or whatever like that. He was like, man, just give me the keys. And she was like, no, you ain't getting my keys. So they still wrestling and tussling over the keys or whatever like that. And I remember she had a knife in her hand. So she had a knife in her hand. She was like, man, if you don't get off me, I'm going to stab you. So he was like, you going to stab me? And she was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I'm going to stab you if you don't get off me. So he went to try to, wrestle the keys out of her hand, and she stabbed him. Boom! She hit him with the, you feel me? So she hit him with it, you know what I'm saying? He got up off of her, you know what I'm saying? He came up off of her or whatever like that. And, you know what I'm saying? She kind of like ran through the house a little bit. So he kind of like chased her, whatever like that. And then he grabs this 8-pound weight because he had some weights in the house because he used to lift weights. And then in turn, he had me and my brother lifting weights because we wanted to get big too because we ain't had no father figure in the household. We feel like anything that we see a man do in this house at that age, that's what a man supposed to do. A man lift weights, a man do X, Y, and Z. So he hit her with the weight. He threw the weight and hit her in the side of her head. Boom. Lean mom dudes, you feel me? Pissed me off, you feel me? I'm talking about pissed me off, but I'm 12. I wanted to do something so bad, I just couldn't do it, you feel me? Because I was scared. I mean, I'm being honest. I was 12. I wasn't grown like I was today. I wasn't 18, 19 when this was. I wasn't even 16. I wasn't even a teen at all. I was 12. You know what I'm saying? So he ran out the house. She tried to stab him. After he threw the weight and she got right. She started running. She ran behind him. She tried to stab him in the back, but she kind of like missed. He ran outside, but the whole time she was on the phone with 12. So she was like, so as everything that was going on, she was telling them, waiting on the police to come. The whole time all this was going on, she on the phone with the police, and the police is supposed to be coming, but they just bullshitting. You feel me? So she was like, oh, he just hit me with the weight. No, so he ran out the house, he tried to stab him in the back. Then he came back in. He grabbed the broom. I'm standing on the steps. So where I'm standing on the steps, I can see through the living room. I can see the kitchen, and I can see the front door. My mother was on the phone. He rocked her with the broom. Boom. She had the phone in her left hand because the knife was still in her right hand. He hit across the left side of her head, broke the phone in half. Boom. I grabbed the other phone, called the folks back, you feel me? And then she tried to, stab him again or whatever like that. So I'm like, I'm coming down the steps with my own little situation. I'm like, I had a hammer in my hand. I'm like, man, look, use this. You feel me? So she like, no, y'all go back upstairs. She trying to tell us to go back upstairs, but by this time, it's like, it's for me, it's getting out of hand. Like, it's pushing my buttons. You feel me? So finally, the police come. My mother's hand was bloody. She still had a knife in her hand. He still was bleeding, but he was outside. When they pulled up, he still was outside or running back out the house. And as he ran out the house, he ran right into him. So she was like, that's him right there, whatever. The police went to, arresting him. He tried to fight the police a little bit. But, they subdued him kind of fast. And then they came in the house and, they was like, ma'am, you can hang the phone up now. Because she still was on the phone with the operator and shit. I guess the operator was like, they should be outside now. She's like, yeah, they here right now. They outside arresting them now, whatever. So they telling her like, ma'am, what's going on, whatever. So she like, yeah, long story short, I came home early from work. I caught him in the bathroom doing drugs. And I wanted him to leave. He didn't want to leave. And that's what they was like, well, is y'all married? And he was like, yeah. They was like, well, in the state of Georgia, if you married, that's your community property. My house is your house. You can't put me out our house. You feel me? So that was the first thing they said. And then they was like, well, look, ma'am, you under arrest. And they proceeded to arrest her. And they were like, why? What I do wrong? She was like, what I do wrong? She still had a knife in her hand the whole time. She was like, what I do wrong? So they was like, ma'am, put the knife down. I'm about to explain it to you. First of all, you know what I'm saying? You assaulted them, you assaulted the man or whatever. Like, she was like, ma'am, she was like, sir, I'm 100 pounds, I'm 125 pounds, 110 pounds, however much. She said, I'm only this small. That man like two times big as me. That man like 225. Why would I go in and just attack him? He came and attacked me for my stuff. He was trying to take my keys. And that's when they was like, ma'am, in the state of Georgia, that car ain't just your car. Even though your name only on the car, in the state of Georgia, that's y'all car. So you can't just take the car from your husband like that. That's y'all car. So she was like, but I'm just saying, I work hard, whatever. And they wasn't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? They laid the law down and then they arrested my mother. And then they was like, well, do y'all got somebody that the kids can stay with? I'm like, well, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? They be like, well, nah, because I was old. I think I was old enough to stay home by myself, but I couldn't stay home by myself for real. So we had to end up going to go stay with a neighbor. We stayed with this neighbor and they was from like the Bahamas or some shit like that. House stank as a motherfucker with all type of little Jamaican smells, but it wasn't that good at Jamaican smell. It was some old nasty ass smell, you feel me? But we spent the night over there, whatever like that, and had to go to school from that. But then when we came home from school, my mother was home from jail, and my stepfather still was in jail, but he ended up coming home maybe like a week or two later. But that was my first time experiencing domestic violence in my house.